Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Facebook Live from Sakra World Hospital. As we all know, today is World Health Day, and the theme this year is Building a Fairer and Healthier World. I'm Dr. Farid from the Department of Psychiatry here at Sakra World Hospital, and I have with me Ms. Jyotsna Reddy, who's a nutritionist at Sakra World Hospital. Thank you for joining us, ma'am. So, when we talk about building a fairer and healthier world, an integral part of that is right to health. So, ma'am, let's start by talking about what this means.
Basically, in India, we don't have a direct fundamental right as right to health as such. They have given in Constitution Article 21, we have 34, which have spoken about the nutrition part of it, the health part of it, and the maternity benefits for the people. So those are certain things which will be leading us to the health. But basically there is no direct fundamental right which is given by the Indian Constitution. But as you know, during this pandemic situation, everybody got to know that how important health is.
Exactly, yeah.
So
yeah, and I also want to talk about the definition of health. So it's very important because the WHO has a definition that's widely accepted that what constitutes good health. So there are three components: the physical, the mental, and the social. So what the WHO emphasizes is that all these three components should be encompassed when talking about good health. And the other thing that's important to remember in this context is that functioning as a socially contributing citizen and also being economically strong is important. So for a person to go out and seek health, they should be aware of what they're seeking. They should understand that they have the right to have that sense of well-being physically, mentally, and also to foster social connections. All this should be encompassed in health. So we don't really talk about these things. So I think when we're talking about right to health, it's first awareness of what is health, then the ability to seek help, that is access to healthcare, and then affordability and the information to make the right decision based on their circumstances.
true. As we have heard in 400 BC itself, Hippocrates has mentioned clearly that health is the greatest human blessing.
Right.
So that only people will be aware whenever they are losing it. They
Right.
don't take a preventive action towards the health. That is majorly the point which we have to think on.
Right. And so why do you think that this has people are not really focusing on the preventive aspect these days? Is it, lack of time, awareness?
It's both of it, because lack of awareness we cannot say completely, because people are aware if they have the faulty habit what they might be landing into, but they take it very light, and because of the mechanical life, because of the schedules of their shift timings,
Right.
availability of food, they pick onto the fast foods more than to the tedious processes of cooking and all. That puts them into a trouble. And physical inactivity is another major cause for the ill health of the people.
So sedentary lifestyle
Sedentary
also
lifestyle
contributes in a
also.
big way.
Yeah.
So I often get this question that why do so many people have mental health problems these days?
True.
And I think that there's a major misconception there, because when we think about mental health problems, we think about biological, psychological, and social. So there's three aspects. And the biology has always been there. So mostly when we talk to people suffering from mental health problems and we go into family history, we find that there is a family history most often. So I think the biology has always been there, that is in the form of genetics or patterns of thinking and that kind of thing. But what has really changed now is the social circumstances.
Correct.
So social connections where a few rich social connections are not given that much importance. It's more about how many followers you have on Instagram, how is your reach, how many people are you do you know. So I think that
This
is
initial
one-
applications were for togetherness of people, but
Right.
later on it's stated so that if I have posted one, how many viewers are there?
Yes.
How many likes have come? So than relaxing the people are put up into pressure only.
Yes.
And I think many of the people who are having this psychological disturbance, they do have the habits of eating more or eating less.
Right.
How do they talk to you when they're talking about the food aspect?
So
When they're
food is a major way of coping for a lot of people. And I think you might have noticed this, that when they come in, it becomes a vicious cycle. So self-image issues, not feeling good about yourself, and then for just to get over that feeling, go and have something sweet like an ice cream, feel better for a little while, then again feel guilty.
yes.
So how do you?
Basically,
Right.
we have seen a lot of body shaming among the adolescent group, particularly the teens.
Right.
They start going into all the disorders. They binge eat, they purge eat. Everything is being observed in this particular food group, like age group. And for the younger children, we would like to say obesity is a major cause which we are seeing in the younger people. But for that generation to be on obesity, we would like to counsel the parents particularly,
Okay.
because they give a link of food for a kid, saying that I'll bring you a chocolate if you complete this work.
Okay.
So
yes.
they link basically food or something which the kid likes, which may not be that healthier, to a psychological aspect. I think this grows over a period of time and
Right.
puts them into a trouble too.
Right.
How do you talk about the child having on to these food habits?
Well, when we see anyone coming in with what we suspect to be eating disorders, like you were mentioning, purging, binge eating, we always go into family dynamics.
Correct.
It's because it all begins with parenting and the child's relationships with peers, the image that they have of themselves. So it's all interconnected. So this brings me to the question. So what do you suggest? What do you recommend is a healthy diet when parents come in with these problems?
When parents come in with these problems, first question will be, we will not be talking about whether the kid is overweight or obese or underweight. First question will be, are they active?
Okay.
So when the parents say yes, they are active enough, and all the while they'll be running, roaming around, activities are very much there, and not a sedentary kind of video games or screen time as more, then we will say relax, forget about the weight as of now. That is the first line what we talk about. Then we will take the recall of the kid, whether they are having a balanced diet. As you also know, balanced diet is nothing but we need to involve in a day all the food groups, 5 food groups which we have, like cereals, pulses, fruits and vegetables, fats and oils, then water intake. So we will give the emphasis how it should be planned for that particular age group, basing on the present weight of the kid.
Okay.
The same with the adolescents also. You need not go totally into a different diets when you are just coming from your childhood to a adolescent age. You need to target a little more onto the protein intake during that time. And the fruits and vegetables become more important here. Fiber content is more equally important. And physical activity actually drops because of their education.
Okay.
Because they
No
spend
time.
a lot of time towards the education, and the physical activity drops. But the food habit, if at all it is too much inclined towards the fatty foods, then obviously the weight gain will be there. So we try and balance between both of it. Though education is important, equally we ask them to allocate either in the morning or in the evening for the physical activity, and not to skip any meal just because it is going to be a school time or we don't have time to eat our lunch. Never they should skip a meal.
Right.
So
This brings me to another important thing that I've observed is when they are given this advice that you must have so much of carbohydrates and so much of fats. Then they go into the extreme of becoming very conscious of
Yes.
their intake, calorie counting and such. So how do you strike a balance between?
see, basically when we are talking about the counseling for an adolescent or a parent, we would like to encourage them first of all we will take the recall of them. We will get to
Okay.
know what are the food groups they are generally using, what they are missing out.
Okay.
Then we will be telling which all to be included apart from their regular diets, and then we will give them the portion sizes, servings. Alternatives will be mentioned to them during that time. So we will be giving them a fair idea how to go
Right.
about the diet.
Right. One question I often get is, does diet affect, mental health? And yes, it's profoundly. There's
I
a lot
think
of
you will
evidence.
be a better person to say that.
Right. There's a lot of evidence to show that the gut is considered the second brain.
Yes.
So anything that happens in the gastrointestinal system, that is from the mouth all the way to the intestines, it does have an impact. And there are many studies to show that certain kinds of bacteria in the gut can have an impact on the amount of anxiety a person is experiencing, mood changes.
The same with the insulin resistance, where we
Yes.
have
Yes,
diabetes,
exactly.
hypertension. The stress factors are giving more problem to the ill health, and from the single diseases which we were having earlier, like diabetes mellitus, hypertension, obesity, now cluster of diseases called as metabolic syndrome is coming up. It's all because of, as you mentioned, it starts from the gut, and gut health again from the mental health.
It's a bidirectional
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's important that we touch on this trend of different diets, particularly intermittent fasting. These keto diets and the K-pop diets. If you can talk about that.
See,
a little bit.
basically the intermittent fasting, initially it was started by one person abroad,
Okay.
but to be frank enough, he was very, very choosy about the food, what he was eating during his
Eating hours.
eating hours or break hours, whatever they call up.
Mhm.
But later on it got diluted, saying that you follow the number of hours of fasting, but during your break hours you can eat whatever
Anything.
possible on the earth.
Okay.
So that's the wrong notion which is being more worried upon, because intermittent fasting can be done for a certain amount of period, but it
Okay.
cannot be continued for long. Yes, if at all you want to achieve a minor weight loss and then cope up with your health with a balanced diet, with a clinical nutritionist consultation, then it is welcome.
Mhm.
But during your break hours of intermittent fasting, whichever cycle you're following, either 16 or 12-hour cycle or 10-hour cycle, whichever you're following, during that break hours also, be watchful on what
you
choices
eat.
you're going to eat.
Right.
So maybe you can consult a nutritionist for that and get a better concept
Okay.
of how much protein is important for you to sustain for the fasting hours.
Mhm.
That is more important.
Right.
The same with the keto diets. I think the keto diets were there 1 year back. Now it has come up as intermittent fasting. The fashion or the trends change. In the same way, the diets also change.
Yeah.
So keto diets were nothing but it is 90% of calories come from fats.
Fats. Right.
So we have seen Dan commenting about keto diets, whether they are recommended or not. I would like to mention we had a big group of people who have come in with liver dysfunctions, because 90% of calories coming from a proper keto diet. Again, the keto diet also was diluted to many other. It's like they adjust to whatever they want.
Mhm.
So basically the particular keto diet is nothing but 90% of calories will be coming from only fat.
Okay.
The people who are very, very strict about 90% of calories coming from the keto diets, they definitely had a weight loss.
Okay.
But equally they had a liver dysfunction, they had their LFT elevated. We had a lot of troubles. Even some people were admitted into the hospitals for the same reason.
Okay.
When we cross-check with them, around 3 to 4 months, unmonitored by any of the nutritionists with the Google, whatever information they get on Google, they have done it. How do they go about the mental health? Do they surf on Google and find out a solution, or do they
A lot of the times they are not even attributing their problems to mental health.
Oh.
They just silent sufferers. You know,
Okay.
they feel shame. They feel that they're not good enough. But with some awareness now coming into mental health, yes, people first spend several months. They'll go online, try to self-diagnose, and you know, a lot of our patients come in and tell us that I have such and such disorder. I have this personality. And then we have to, there's a lot of unlearning that has to happen. You know, we have to explain to them that, you know, this is not how it works. And a lot of times they just want a quick fix
I know.
with medications and
Because whenever like a psychologist or psychiatrist refer patients to us, first of all, we have to listen to them for a half an hour, 45 minutes, because they'll be counseling what all they learned from the
Right.
Google.
yeah,
So it becomes major challenge for us to modify or correct them.
that thinking.
So first
yeah.
we would like to say that they have lot of things that they should not be eating.
Right.
They're so adamant on it. It takes maybe in the first session definitely we cannot hit the ice.
Mhm.
We cannot break
You
it.
have to
but
build that
yes, sessions
relationship.
definitely help, and
Right.
through relationship only it will help.
Okay, interesting. And so when you find that, you know, they are on these diets that are having a negative impact on their health, and it's very difficult to change these patterns. Once they do, you know, get on the right kind of diet that you recommend, how long does it take for them to recover and come back to?
That majorly depends on the mental or the psychology of them, whether they
Mhm.
want to accept the counseling or not, because
Right.
they definitely know when they are going to meet a nutritionist, they know what they are going to speak.
Mhm.
Because they know what they were doing earlier, what they have done, and where they have landed up. Because they'll be having the serum reports also, blood serum reports also in front of them,
Mhm.
which are clearly stating that the parameters are elevated and different.
Okay.
So, particularly to come back to the previous health, it might depend on the age
Mhm.
and how many months they have been on these kind of false diets or something like that. It
Right.
cannot be same for everyone. It is individualized and it differs.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Is there anything else that you think would be enriching for our viewers today?
We would like to say depend on a balanced diet for yourself, and during this pandemic all of us learned that health is a priority and health is wealth, as Mahatma Gandhi has stated already. So basically WHO definition of health, if we can reiterate, it's social, physical and
And
mental health being. It's not that only the body should be in shape and you can be heavy. No. So please seek the advice if in case anything is necessary. Consult a doctor, psychiatrist or a clinical nutritionist on the goals at which you have to set in. And one more important thing is physical inactivity, and during this pandemic time, many of them have stepped into different kind of baking and cooking technologies. For them, my advice will be or request will be, please stick on to anything which is traditionally cooked.
Okay.
So than going
What
for
your body is used to,
yes,
basically.
what your body is used to, what your grandmothers used to cook and give to you people. So have a balanced diet, have antioxidant rich fruits and vegetables, nuts and oily seeds for yourself. Keep yourself well hydrated. During this pandemic time, we were waiting for the vaccines. Now the vaccines have come.
Yes.
I think over there also they have a lot of tension whether they should be taking it,
Definitely.
whether
There's
it
a
should
lot
be
of-
Covaxin, whether it should be like Covishield. I think a lot of
There's a lot of
stress.
hearsay, a lot of misinformation. One negative report about post-vaccine effects just blown out of proportion. So there's a lot of misinformation. I think the best thing that's come out of this pandemic is that we've gone online now. Online consultations are available from most medical specialties. So if there's any apprehension, questions regarding vaccines or any other health issues, I think now is the best time to get online and talk directly with a healthcare professional. I think that would be the best
Just
way to go.
a day prior to your vaccination, keep yourself well hydrated. That will keep down onto your short headaches or feverish feeling what you will be having. Keep well hydrated and well nourished food.
So
Do not go for any oily or sweet dense items. That's the only simple advice during vaccination particularly.
Okay, great.
So,
Thank you
wishing
so
all
much.
of you
Yeah.
a happy life ahead.
Thanks everyone for watching, and take care.